Hi, everybody. Welcome to another edition of the Make Code Arcade Advanced stream. I'm Richard. Richard on the Make Code Forum.
I'm Joey at J Wonder on the Make Code Forum.
I'm Thomas at Sparks on the Make Code Forum.
And today we are working on our Pikmin-like game. But first, we have a question from Miley Virus in the chat, which is, what arcade-compatible hardware would allow me the most space for a game? Pygamer has 512 kilobytes, but an empty project weighs almost 256 kilobytes. I think the Pygamer is the biggest one I know of. What does the Extron Pro have, Joey?
It might be the same as Pygamer, but I don't recall it off the top of my head. Do I have
Joey, your camera is frozen. Also, you might want to.
Yeah, I noticed that a second ago.
Yeah, I think the Pygamer is the biggest, but the Extron Pro might be bigger. I know the Extron Pro, that's the one that lets you store multiple games, right?
Yeah.
But I don't know what the individual size limit is, because it still has flash base. It's going to be moving the code to at the end of the day. So, all right. Well, with that out of the way, let's get over to coding. So, if you remember last time, we have been working on our Pikmin game. We have now made it so you can throw these guys around. You can call them back. If there was a strawberry here, we could tell them to pick it up and carry it, and they'll carry it back to this thing, and then it'll disappear. And what we're doing now is we want to make it so that they can carry piles of stuff. So unlike the last thing we did, so the moving a strawberry, when they are carrying a pile of things, it'll just go one at a time, right? So you can throw a bug over there. They will pick up one. They will run it back to the base. They'll throw it into the base. Then they will run back to the pile and pick up another. So you could even just use one bug to do it. It might just take a really long time. You could throw more to do it, take less time. You get the idea. So for now, we're just using this little art right here. And not every pile of things is going to have 7, but we're just always going to display 7. And then as it goes down, we will just kind of change the image depending on what percentage is left. That's the idea. All right. So let's get going. I think right now we have this image inside of an animation, and I need to take this animation and erase a bunch of them. So the idea is that we want to have all of our frames. Each one is just going to have one less, and that's how we're going to do this. We'll just be swapping through these images. Let's see. The nice thing about this little circular pattern is that you can just kind of spiral around like this. There you go. Perfect. All right. So we're already spawning the sprite right there. We need to go ahead and now make this a task. So that's right here. By the way, we're calling these grapes because they look kind of like grapes. So
I was hoping they were raspberries.
No, fortunately not. Okay. Also, I don't think you can take the little modules from a raspberry. Like, I don't think that's a thing you can really do.
So like each small one is a raspberry, like a raspberry patch.
Oh, I see. So that, okay. Well, those don't look like raspberries, so raspberries are all bumpy. All right. So we created a sprite of kind grapes. We have given it a weight. The weight is going to be the total number of things there are for this one to be picked up. And let's go ahead and handle the thing. Let's see. From him 993 said, "Hi, found out about your live through YouTube." Awesome. Yeah. If you didn't know, all of our things go up, all of our VODs go up on YouTube after we're done streaming. Also, you can watch us stream on YouTube, but you shouldn't do that because we don't watch the YouTube chat. So yeah, come to Twitch. Oh, breakfast, just randomizing my air conditioner settings. Okay. So we want to do an overlap event. So reminder of how it works with a strawberry. In fact, let me go ahead and just put a strawberry for illustrative purposes back into our tile map. That's this treasure right here. just going to go ahead and do that. There you go, the strawberry. So when we throw a bug, they get assigned to the task. We get this little counter thing indicating how many are assigned to the task. Once we get the correct number, 8, it gets carried back and then dumped into the graph. So we're doing something similar here. We want, when we do an overlap, to assign them to the task. And let's see, Ham993 says, there is no YouTube chat for me. Yeah,
Oh, probably.
that's
Yeah, we're at
true,
YouTube
right?
Kids.
Because we're marked this for all ages, and so YouTube takes away the chat when you're marked as for all ages. Twitch does not. Okay, so we want to do an overlap event with this, and then we're going to assign it to the task. And I think we're going to have a counter just like we do for the other things. It's just going to have a slightly different purpose. It'll be how many are currently have been picked up from here and how many remain is what it's going to be indicating. So since it's going to be pretty similar, let's go ahead and grab our overlap event right here. And we're going to copy it. So go ahead and duplicate this. Make this grapes. And we have this assigned to carry task. So we're going to make a new function. And it's going to be assign to grape task. Bug. Task. Done. All right. So let's go to our assign to carry task function. Where are you? Because I think there's probably going to be some overlap between these two functions. Maybe we'll even refactor them into one function. I don't know.
Ooh, fancy.
All right. So inside of this assigned to carry task, it looks like so we set the, we create a number display if there isn't one. Well, first we're taking the bug, we're changing it to busy bug, and we're giving it a task. We're also setting ghost on. And inside here, we're saying if not temp sprite, so if we don't already have a number display, we're creating a new one. And then we are setting our number display to be the number of bugs assigned to that task. So here's one place where we're going to be different. Instead of doing how many are assigned to the task, we're going to be doing how many are remaining. And then we are checking to see if the number of bugs assigned to this task is greater than the weight, then we're going to go ahead and move it. So get it started. So we don't need that part. All right. So we will copy this beginning part. So let's grab this temp sprite. Going to grab this check right there. Want to do busy bug. I'm going to set the task just like we're already doing and set ghost to be on. Wait, we're setting ghost on these bugs. How do we call them back?
I think you set it off when they.
Oh, right. We're not using
Hit the-
overlaps. That's why. I was like, we must be using overlaps, but we're not. We're using from the arcade sprite util. We're like doing the number of sprites within a radius.
Oh,
Yeah.
Right. Okay. Okay, so let's start doing this. So we are going to assign them to the task just like we did the other thing, so that we can keep using this get bugs assigned to task function, which is really useful. Here we're making a task fraction with the bottom number of the weight, which is correct. That's what we want. And then here we're going to do the number display. We're setting the text to be, and then we're doing the length of the array, get bugs assigned to task. So what we want to do here is we're going to store another number on this task. We're going to be storing remaining. And we'll just do this over here where we created. He's not typing that. He's not accepting my keyboard input. There we go. I don't know. I've never seen that before. That was weird. Data as number. Oh, by the way, I have a very exciting arcade feature coming up. I'm just going to talk about because I've been working on it. We've all had this happen. You're working on a make code project. Something weird happens, then all your code disappears. It's a very unfortunate fact of life. But what if there was a way to go back to an older version of your project? Enter the time machine. So this is what I'm working on. I've got it working. I can't demo it for you right now because it's on my other computer. But basically, I'm storing every version of your project whenever you make a change. And you'll be able to use a little scrubber and go back in time. So if something ever deletes your project, or you just mess stuff up, you can just scrub on back to where it was working, click go, and then you have the old version of your project again. You no longer will have to save a bunch of files.
Yeah, it was really weird getting the question from Richard about like the pair programming, like how do I make it so the person goes back when like I reverse the universe so that they're not just floating in space and instead they're in the right spot where the planet is in relation to the sun. That was really weird to work out, but I'm glad Richard got there.
It took me a little while to figure out where Joey was going with that. Joey was, of course, talking about how time machines never really make that much sense because if you were to go back in time, the Earth is moving through the universe, and so you would not be in the same place. So, all right. Anyway, look forward to that. It'll be coming soon. I will demo it later once I have a demo to do. Like I said, I actually have it working. It's working. It works perfectly fine, but it's not on this computer, so I can't show it to you. All right. So we want to set this number display to be whatever our remaining number is. So I'm going to go ahead and grab this weight thing, and we're going to change this to be remaining. And we're also going to take that remaining number and we're going to change it by -1 because our bug has picked one up. All right. And now 1 second, my mouse is being weird. I have to change the setting. I need to throw away this mouse.
Didn't you just buy a new one? Like
I did just buy this one, yes.
Oh,
And now this one has failed me.
no.
There you go. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's up with it, but maybe it's under warranty. Okay. So let's see, I did change task X by 0. That's not what we want. We want to change number, so that is here. And we're going to be changing the remaining by number -1. Okay, now this is a little bit tricky, actually. I think we're going to have to store another number because so when a bug grabs something, we're going to change the remaining by -1. That makes sense. And that bug is going to be transporting that thing to the end of the line. Works fine. The issue is, what if I call that bug back while it's still transporting the thing? All right. So the way Pikmin handles this is that thing just transports back on over to the task, the original task. So it gets thrown and then it's over there. And I think that's basically the behavior we want to do. The reason that we're going to have another number is because we need to know how many are currently in transport. That way, we can keep track of it so that we want to be able to destroy the task when everything is completed. And that's going to be when the remaining number is 0 and also the in transport number is 0. If either of those are not 0, then we don't want to destroy the task. And the reason that we have to have two numbers is because we decrement this remaining number as soon as the bug hits it, we would destroy it immediately when actually we want to destroy it only when that thing is fully transported. I know that was a bunch of gobbledygook, but you get the idea. So we're going to go ahead and over here, where we're doing this remaining, we are also going to do in transport. And we're going to set this to be 0 because there are not currently any in transport. All right. So we're changing remaining by -1. We're also going to be changing in transport by +1. And let's go ahead and just test this code out as it is now. So we should be able to throw these guys on our thing. We should see a number 1 out of 8. It's not actually attached to our sprite because of the sprite kind, but that's fine. And as we throw, the number is going up, and then they're picking it up and carrying. Did I forget to call this function? Oh my God, give me a
98.
Creeping closer every day. Okay, so throw this, and there we go. So now it's going down, which is what we want. And it's just going to negative, whatever. All right. So I guess what we also want to do is we want to make sure that we haven't already completed this task. So inside of this thrown bug handler, we're going to go ahead and do if, and we're going to check that task's remaining and make sure it's greater than 0. We don't care about the in transport for this check. Okay. So now they'll just start ignoring it if they're all moving. Okay. With that, the next thing we want to do is actually make our bug head towards the home base. So we're going to use the pathfinding extension. So inside of scene. Oh, actually, I guess first let's fix that number display while I'm thinking about it. So the number display, we do that inside of an on-game update somewhere. Yeah, right here. So right here, we are doing this for array of kind food. We are getting the list of bugs assigned to task, then we are destroying it if the bugs assigned to task is to 0 or whatever. No, we're not destroying it. We're just like we're placing the bugs here. So we're going to duplicate this, and the only part we actually want, though, is this number display part. So for that, grab that stuff, close this, change this to our grapes type, and number display, let's see, set data number display to sprite. Empty. Okay, I thought something had been deleted there, but no, this is actually just us clearing that, which is what we want. And here we're doing this if length of array list equals 0. Let's see. Yeah, actually, if there are no bugs assigned to this task, we do want to get rid of this. So no, I guess what we want to do is if the number remaining equals the total number, then we want to get rid of it, right? So if it's like in a state where we have not started it again, then we want to get rid of it.
Yes. But also just check bugs assigned to task. I think if there were no bugs assigned to the task, I would.
No, because you could get into a state where you had 5 that were assigned to the task. They carry all of their grapes to the pool, and then you call them back. So no one's assigned to the task, but half of the things are gone. And we
Yeah,
still
you're
want the
right.
number display to show until you finish it.
Yeah, you're right. How was it was displaying the number as a fraction before? How was it doing that when we were only doing it for sprites of kind food? Like when you were just testing it a minute ago?
How is it doing it as a fraction?
Well, it was because it was only you're only doing that for sprites of kind food, and now I'm wondering why it was working.
No, I was doing it for that one too. The thing that I was only doing for food was the placement code. That's why it was showing up in the middle of the screen.
Okay.
But now you can see it is actually properly aligned.
Gotcha.
Same thing with this guy. All right, we have these guys assigned. We have this thing going. We're canceling the task once we have them all. Whatever. And Ham993 says in all caps, "You have so many kinds." Yeah, we do have a lot of kinds in this one, don't we?
It's just a very pleasant, like Pikmin's a very kind game, so it's nice that we're emulating that.
Yeah, not the most kinds we've had in the game, though. I'm almost sure. All right. So with that, let's go ahead. Now we're going to do the pathfinding and actually have this guy carry the grape back to base. And we're also going to make them, I want them to be holding the grape on top of their head so you can see what they're doing, So we'll be doing that too. Okay. So first off, let's go ahead and go to our assign to grape task. And we're first going to take our bug and put them at the center of our sprite, just so that we know what spot they're starting from. So let's go ahead and just set their position. Bug position. Task X. Task Y. All right. Now with that, we're going to go ahead and go into scene and grab the path from. And we're going to be getting the path from the tile map location of our task to the tile map location of our home base. And I want to use this follow also. So go ahead and do that. I'm going to put the bug right here. Oh, I did tile map location left of, which is not what I want. I want tile map location of sprites. There you go. And this is going to be our task. And then this is going to be using our home base variable. Didn't I call it home base? What did I call it?
Is it anthill or something, maybe?
Maybe.
I'll make a home base out of anthills, man.
I think you already made that joke.
I did. Well, I did the other version of it. Don't make a molehill out of anthills.
Oh, that was it.
Which is I think that's a way better joke than the one I just made.
Yeah, I guess. Yeah, I agree with that. I don't see anything in here. I know I made it. What? Oh, did I just use a kind and then I just did get value at 0? That sounds like something I would do. I probably just did array of all kinds and then get value at 0, which is don't be a Richard. All right. And grab home base. Okay. And in here, we have a speed parameter, and for that, we're going to be using bug speed, which, see, I'm glad we put that into a variable. Like, oh, we're going to need that someday. All right, throw. Look at these guys go, and they're taking it all the way back to base. Looking good. Okay. Now, I think somewhere we have a complete path. Yeah, here we go. Oh, cool. I was worried this wouldn't take in a sprite kind, but it does. Joey thought of that.
I thought of it, apparently.
Okay, so we're gonna do on sprite of kind completes path at location. We're gonna change this to be busybug. So we are already using path following, but the thing that we're following the path when we're doing a carry task is the actual task itself. So it's the treasure or whatever actually, getting to the end. For this one, we're doing it for the busybug, and when the busybug makes it to whatever path they're trying to go to, we're going to go ahead and check to see if they went to home base or if they went to the grape pile. And so I think what we're going to have to do now is store on them. We're going to store a Boolean, and this will be like holding grape. So let's do that. Holding grape. Grape, 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 grape. Can I get a copyright strike? Is that too close?
I think it was far enough away.
Okay. All right.
As long as you don't do the follow-up like ballad where it goes up, then you're good.
All right. Ham993 says, I would try to make this simpler. Yeah, it's kind of a complicated game, but I'm not perfect. There's probably a way to make this much simpler.
I think lots of these things would be simpler if we switched to JavaScript and made them into blocks, but that's not worth doing. That's not really the goal here.
That is true, though.
Anytime that you're writing code, if you look back on it at the end, you're probably going to think, oh, I could have made this simpler, but then you don't have time to do it. So that's just future you time. That's just making sure you have a job in the future.
This is engineering debt 101.
Yeah. Like,
Professor Joey.
Huh?
Professor Joey teaching us engineering debt 101.
Oh yeah. But yeah, at the very end of writing any code you have, you know it better than you did at the start. That's the important thing. And then 5 minutes later, you forgot it all. That's just how it works.
All right. So if we have completed the task and we are holding a grape, then we're going to set holding grape to false, and we're going to follow a path back to our task. So let's go ahead and first we'll do this set to false, the sprite in here, holding grape, false, perfect. And then we're doing this follow path, which is the time application of sprite to time application of the task. One last thing we actually want to do, though, is we only want to do this if there are remaining things. So let's say that you were assigned to this task and, someone else has picked up the last remaining grape, in the time it took for you to get to the anthill. Well, then we don't want you to go back anymore and just wait at the anthill. We'll make it easier to pick you up later. So.
Mm-hmm.
Right, grab this, put that in there.
Is that the behavior in
That is behavior Pikmin.
Okay, so if they're picking up the crystals, it'll only send over like 5 to pick up the last 5 of them. If you have, it's like a batch of 20 and you first assign 15. Okay.
Yeah. Let's see. Ham993 says, can you post the game in chat so I have an idea of what to do? Sure thing.
I feel like there's some weird edge cases with this scenario, but we probably don't need to worry about them.
Yeah,
absolutely are.
Yeah, so I was just about to get to that actually. So the main thing that we're not handling here is, let's say we have 10 in motion, but there's only 1 remaining. Well, when all 10 get to the anthill, they're all going to run back, even though there's only 1 remaining. Right? So what we really need to do is store another number, which is how many are currently in transport. We have in transport, which are like the ones holding a grape. We need another number, which is like how many are in transport back to the task. It's, I don't know, is there a simpler way to do that? That's all I can think of.
There's yet another edge case where if you say you get all that working and you only send 1 back, but then you call that 1 back to you, and then there's just 1 remaining, and there's 9 bugs waiting at home base, and no bugs going to pick up the 1 remaining. But
Right.
It's probably fine.
I think Pikmin just doesn't handle that scenario, actually. I think that
Oh,
once
really?
they're back, then no one will be assigned to the task anymore. One Pikmin will not realize, oh, this is the scenario, and then run back. I'm
see.
pretty sure we don't actually have to handle that.
Okay.
Not that we have to
Great.
copy Pikmin exactly, but in this case, since it's less work,
When in doubt,
okay.
yeah. For the scenario you talked about. Could you not just look at the remaining minus the bugs that are
In transport?
in transport?
No, because that in transport includes also the ones that are currently on their way to the anthill.
Oh,
Yeah. So we actually need two different numbers.
yeah.
Okay, so are we actually using this in transport anywhere but right here right now? I don't think we are. Which is good because we're going to say grapes being carried like that. Oh no, we also do it over here when we instantiate the thing. So we're going to go ahead and do grapes being carried right here. And then we're going to do bugs on their way and set that to be 0. All right. Boy, this is annoying. I knew this was going to be annoying going in, but yeah. All right. I fully expected this to take all stream today. Okay. So we're going to change the ones that are holding for the grapes being carried by -1. And then we're going to say, okay, if the remaining is greater than 0, that's good. We want to do another check, which is bugs on their way less than remaining. So if the bugs on their way is less than remaining, we're going to change bugs on their way by 1. And then we're going to do the follow path. Whoops. Minus. Okay. Otherwise, we are going to unassign this bug because they're done.
If you want to be really, really thorough, when you when you assign a bug to the task, if it's the last one and there are any bugs on their way, you'd have to unassign those. You assign the bug to its task, a new bug, and you collect the final grape.
We are going to do that.
Okay. Yeah.
Okay. So with that, let me first check this unassigned bug task and make sure that I didn't put anything that is food specific in there. Because I might have. Unassigned bug. Go. Okay, yeah. So here we go. We're setting it to be the task, then we're doing all this stuff. So we do want all this to happen. But here we're going to check to make sure that the task kind is equal to food before we do this other stuff, because we don't actually want this to be. We don't care about this logic for non-food tasks. And put all that there. All right, perfect. That should take care of that. Okay. Okay, so with this, we need to handle the other case now. So if we are not holding a grape and the bug makes it to the end, then we want to call this again, assign to grape task. So we're going to change our bugs on their way by -1. Oh, I'm changing this on sprite, which is not right. Should be changing this on the task. That was a good catch, Richard. Okay. So then we're going to change the task bugs on their way by -1, and then we're just going to call this again because it has all of the logic we want. So. All right. Let's watch this. We'll see what happens. Okay, I'm just going to throw one bug. There you go. Go, bug, go. All right, he's back over. There you go. He took another one.
Nice.
All right, speed it up. Help your friend. All right, so one went back. They all stopped. And there we go. All right, so that actually seems like it's all working. I love it when you write like a lot of code and then it just works.
Yeah.
Yeah. Hey, my head hurts. I'm looking at core stuff all day.
You're fine. You're fine. All right. So, completed the path at location. That's great. The last thing we kind of have to do is we need to make sure that if this task is fully completed. So the way we're going to do that is when we call this unassigned bug, we should already have all of our numbers updated. So grapes being carried should be 0. Bugs on their way should be 0. Remaining should be 0. So inside of our unassigned task, unassigned bug from task, just like we were handling the destruction of the, well, I guess we're not actually handling the destruction here, but we'll do it here. So if the sprite kind is grapes, then what we're going to do is check if remaining and in transport is 0. We want to destroy this task. It's completed. Data as number. The lights at the end of the tunnel. All right. Remaining equals 0 and grapes being carried equals 0. Then destroy like that. And the last thing we want to do also, so there is one thing that's not being handled here, which is, well, actually, I don't know if I want to handle this here or if I handle it somewhere else. Probably want to handle it somewhere else. So never mind. We'll just, this will be good for that. So what I was going to do was we need to handle the case where someone is heading towards the pile and the last one is transported. But I think we want to make sure we never actually get into that situation. So I think we don't need to handle that here. All right. So let's handle that. Yeah, what's up?
Question in the chat. How do you get the fancy text?
Yes, that is at, here, I'll type it out. Rick Knoll /arcade fancy text. plus.
Now all you have to do is reshare the game and it'll go straight to them.
There you go. That's where it is. Thank you, Thomas, for putting it in chat, which is much more useful.
Problem.
All right. Cool. Okay. So let's go ahead and make sure our task gets completed. I'm just going to throw 8 of these guys at it. There you go. Carried over and gone. I feel like this should have gotten destroyed too, but I guess we have to do that separate. Oh, right, because it gets destroyed in the other one because all the bugs are unassigned from the task. But in this case, we actually just have to do it separate. That's fine. All right, I really should have written down all of these edge cases because I'm now going to have to try to remember what they were. All right, so the first edge case that we know we have to do is we have let's say that there's 1 grape remaining. All right, someone has just completed putting the second to last grape and they are running back towards the pile. You are like, yo, don't worry about it. I'm going to throw a bug right now. That bug has picked up the final grape. So we have someone who is on the way, but there is no longer any grape for them to get. So how do we fix that? Well, what we want to do is when that last grape gets assigned, we're going to take that bug and we're going to say, you know what? Don't worry about it. Head on back to the base. And we're going to have them go back to the base and they will be unassigned from the task. All right. So let's do that. We're going to, inside of this assign to grape task, we're going to check if, this is even more complicated than that. All right. If grapes being carried, I'm sorry, bugs on their way is greater than remaining, then we have to take the difference and reassign them. And to do this the best way, we would sort them by how far away they are.
So you could do that, or you could just not. And as say there's 1 grape remaining, 3 bugs are on their way back. The first bug that gets there is going to trigger the same code again, and then the 2 will just turn back at that point.
Yeah, you're right. Let's just do it that way. It's easier. So we're going to say if remaining equals 0. It's not optimal though, Thomas.
It's true, but they're just simple bugs.
Then we're going to go ahead and do a for of. We're going to look for all of these sprites that are assigned to this task. So let's go ahead and call our function for that. That's in our task. And what we want to do is we want to find any of these that are not holding a grape. If they are not holding a grape, that means they are coming back. So if they're not holding a grape, we're going to change the bugs on their way by -1. We're going to unassign this bug.
It's a base-bound bug.
So what?
A base-bound bug.
True. I don't actually think we need a separate kind for this. We're just going to have them be regular bug kind and then give them a path. Because since they're regular bug kind and not busy bug kind, they're not going to trigger this path code. I think we will have to handle that inside of our picking sprites up code, but we'll do that in just a second. Okay, so unassign them and then go ahead and follow path. And we're going to do path from here we're doing the path from the location of the task to the location of the base. We're going to be doing the location of the bug and make this value not bug. Oh, whoops, not bug. We want this to be value. Like that. All right, so they're going to go ahead and run back. All right, and with that, we need to do that one thing that I was just talking about, which is inside of our if calling bugs code. See, inside of our thing, we have them all come. And then we need to, for these bugs, we're going to go ahead and if they happen to be following a path, we're going to go ahead and just clear it. So just for all of them, just in case, we're going to go ahead and do follow path, make this value, and put in an empty array, and put in speed 0. That, and heck, we'll do it for the busy bugs too, because it doesn't hurt, and probably what we want. All right, let's test this out. So, okay, I'm gonna throw a few guys over here, 2, and now I'm going to throw one more, and we saw those 2 went on back. They didn't actually go back, they actually ran into me, which means they got recollected. But that works too. That is what we want. So let's try that again. All right, I'm going to throw 2 like that. So they're going to start carrying. Now we're going to wait till. There we go. Now I'm going to throw these 2, and they're not going to come back. That's good. Wasn't exactly what I wanted to test, but I did test something. Okay, we'll throw a bunch of these guys. There you go. Okay, so they all canceled. And we also saw that only 3 came back because there was only 3 remaining. Okay, I think this is all working. There's a lot of edge cases here, but I think we have papered over all of them.
Yeah.
I think, so the last things that we have to do are, we want to change the image of the grape pile as it's being carried away. And we want to make it so that there's a little grape above the heads of our bugs when they're carrying them to the ground. So let's do the carrying on top of the head first, because I think that's going to be nice and easy. We're not going to use sprites for that. We're just going to use a render on Z-index. Because I think that'll actually make the code simpler to do. So I'm going to grab a render on Z-index from Sprite Utils. Right here. Do we have any other render on the index? Okay, so we have this one at 20, which is our cursor. So I want to be below that. We have this one at 50, which is our bug calling thing. Yeah, I probably want to be below that too. So we'll put this at 15. And what we're going to do here is for element value of, and we're going to go into arrays. I'm not arrays, into sprites. And do array of all sprites of kind. And do busy bug. And then we're going to say if that bug is holding a grape, then we're going to draw an image to the screen. And it's going to be a grape. I was about to go copy and paste it, but I'm pretty sure I can recreate this one. All right, and we're going to be drawing this at the X, and let's see, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wide. So we're going to be drawing it at the X minus half of that. So we'll just do -2 and see how that looks. And then for y, we're going to do y minus 5. All right, let's see what this does. Oh, I made these bigger than the actual ones, but I kind of like it bigger, I gotta say. But this looks pretty perfect. This is exactly what I wanted, more or less. Yeah. So,
Yeah.
I mean, them being bigger is actually nice, right? Because they're lifted up in the air at least a little bit.
I think it's nice. Yeah,
Yeah.
I agree. Okay. Awesome. All right. With that, the last thing we have to do. Oh, I forgot. There's one thing we also forgot to test. There we go. We're gonna restart this. We need to try and call someone away who's working on the task. So go ahead and do this, and I'm gonna go ahead and cancel it. And nope, good thing we tested that because that didn't work right.
Yeah, I don't know if we ever had that code, did we?
Yeah, I don't think we ever wrote that code. All right. If calling bugs. Here we go. Gonna grab this if statement. Bring it over here. So here's where we're going through all our busy bugs. Actually, we can just do this. No, we'll do it here. So if we are holding a grape, then we are going to grab our task and say do data as sprites. Value in there. Grapes being carried by -1. Change remaining by +1. And then clear this Boolean. There you go, right here. Beautiful. Also, did I clear this Boolean inside of the tile, inside of the path completed? Yeah, I did. Cool, that's fine. All right, try that again. Do. And I'm gonna go ahead and call them back. And yep. Looks like that is working. Oh, okay. So we need to call them back, but we also need to update that number display when we call them back. So when we change this remaining number, we're gonna have to update the display because it's working as expected, but it's not updating the display, which is a problem. I'm gonna go ahead and go into assign and copy this bit. And then put this over here. And put that there and that there. And back where it came from. And that should fix it. Okay, so we're setting our number display to be updated. All right. Well, we have 5 minutes left, which should be enough time for us to do this final thing.
Hassan check? Anyone? This is Hassan? No?
Nope. And we are officially in Hassan quarter territory.
Yeah.
Okay. So whenever we change the remaining number, we have to update this number display. Whenever we change the remaining number, we also have to update the image. So we're going to go into, just going to put this into a function. So we're going to be update grape task. And it's going to take in a sprite, which is a task. That. Gonna grab this, put it in here. Whoops. There we go. Call this function. Like that. Going to go over to our assign to group task function. Call it here also. Beautiful. And we now need to go ahead and set the image. So we're going to set the image to be set image, set image. Task set image to be. We're going to do grape frames, get value add. And we want to get the percentage that we have been completed. So we're going to be using the remaining over the weight. Am993 says, I made my own attach block. Very cool. Yeah, I want to make an extension for that, but also someone on our team is making a proper extension for it. So I just wait for her to do it.
Who's work? Is that Eric?
Yeah. Okay, and then I want times. And I want the length of grape frames. Do that. I think this might be in reverse. Remaining weight. Make these both task. I think we actually want to do 1 minus this. There we go. And finally, we need to just go ahead and put on, I'm just going to do I think I want to do a ceiling. No, I want to do a floor on this. Floor on this. That in there. And I don't know, let's see how it works. Well, that was bizarre. Wait, throwing 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 8. Okay. It's not setting the image at all, it seems. Okay, 1 minus remaining divided by remaining. Oh, that makes sense.
Remaining divided by remaining does come out to a number.
Beautiful. All right. One thing though is because we're doing this, I made the last frame transparency, so they can go back to pull a grape out of thin air. So instead, we're going to make the last frame, you know, just 1 left, I guess. Also, the other thing we have to do is we need to give these all a background because it's messing with the overlaps. All right, thank you for tuning in, everybody. I am Richard, at Richard on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Joey at JWondered on the MakeCode Forum.
I'm Thomas at Sparks on the MakeCode Forum.
And one thing I want to mention before we sign off is we are going to be having a mini game jam again. So we're starting those back up now that the game jam is over. It's going to be the first Monday of the month. So that will be, I think, September 4th, I think, which is Labor Day here in the US.
Yes, that was correct.
But I will, don't worry, I'll still log on to start the mini game jam. We don't actually have a theme for it or anything, but you know, we'll figure something out.
It's 3 days before your birthday. Congratulations on that coming up soon.
Nice. I thought you said 3 days before my birthday, and I was like, I thought you knew me better than that, Joey.
Yeah.
All right, here we go. Carrying it away. And beautiful. Okay, awesome.
The little green bugs are so cute underneath. It looks like a
This
little
game
stem.
has gotten very cute, I feel like, with the grapes. All right. See you later, everybody. Bye.
Yeah, bye.